our regulars are out of town, and it's holiday season and the last weekend before winter break for kids. And what other excuses can we give? Let me think. That's pretty much it. All right. So I'm thinking January, Shabbat Shirah, which is January 27th. That's the Shabbat song. You probably may be familiar with it. It's where we read the Song of the Sea in the crossing the Red Sea. We have on the calendar a karaoke night or a something music, something night. So my wheels are turning going, maybe we're going to do CBI Cafe and have a little jazz guitarist doing some fun stuff for us. Some fun music. Thank you for sending those. They're beautiful. It's a Europe. I have to go back and listen to all of them for longer. I got a taste of each one. So, and I don't know Rabbi Obama. I'm not sure. I just haven't crossed paths. But I know B'nai Torah. I know some of you still wasn't there.
2 times in a row for you guys.
I know. They came back. We didn't scare them off. We tried. We really tried. But we didn't scare them off. Thankfully.
So good you.
Chili.
Thankfully, the rain's supposed to be coming tonight, tomorrow night, or at least by Sunday. See how that works out. I think Sunday. I think Sunday's the rain.
Well, I've been redone before. I can handle it.
See, I heard some more voices. They sound a little higher pitch than Richard's.
David. That's right. Anna. Choose like that. Good name, good choice. Of course, David. It's crazy.
Hello, everybody.
The Shabbat.
Oh my God.
Look, Hannah and Richie are back. We didn't scare them off, we decided. That
Oh,
was
good.
Yeah, it's a good thing. You didn't scare them? I thought you might scare them off.
No, Cheryl.
Cheryl could scare them off, right? Who else could scare them off? But they're not. They're stout. They're here. They're coming.
They're very stern stuff for that.
Yeah, they're strong.
That's right.
All right, so we're gonna hang out with Richard. That's very cute. See those birds out here.
I want to make sure.
I told Richard we would pray for him. He appreciated it.
Well, I know Barry's coming. You said Erica's right behind.
Yeah, I was just talking to him. The traffic was.
Traffic was horrible.
She goes,
Yeah,
I
I
decided
know.
to go.
You guys are in Malden, right? Is that what you- Yeah.
That's a trip.
Far enough.
She said she was gonna go, she went, hey, but I go, no, that's what I did, wrong move. She goes, too late.
Well, we're really, they're coming, we're up to 8. I so it doesn't hold it, and after using it for the last 5 months, 4 months, whatever it's been, they finally stripped, pulled out. There's no way, so the door's hanging half off, right, scratching on the floor, and Joe, what? Well, so Jeffrey and I were like, you hold the door, I'll unscrew the rest of the screws at the bottom so we don't bend them up. And the door is now sitting at the end of the hallway where Jonah's room is, right there. He has no door, and thankfully he's such an easy kid that way. He's like, oh, it's okay. Most kids would freak out if they have the door on their front on the roof. So now we're gonna have to deal with the wood glue or the plug up the, there's not much you can do with a hinge, but that was so by the time we got done with that last night, it was like 10 o'clock. I'm like, go to bed, we're done with that.
I would offer you advice, but when I pick up a screwdriver, my wife calls EMS.
Well, when Jeffrey picks up the screwdriver, so would I. So I'm the one who is the handy person.
Did Lauren call you?
Yes, I left a message for Bernie. It's minor stuff. They're going to take that out.
I mean, when I got there and they said that's left, Bernie couldn't have his whatever, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And I couldn't call, so I had Lauren do it.
Yeah. No, I called. I left a message. They hopefully will get it. All right, we're going to get going.
I just have to take the shoes out and get
You can do what you need to. I'm going to grab Jonah if he wants to come help, or if he's going to be the visitor. Did you all meet and met?
Yes.
Good. Excellent. Okay. We'll have a few probably. The challenge side, we'll have a few people who are moving on. So we're going to begin, as we do all the time, on page 5. And I said this last week, we can't quite, and I'm going to go ahead and use the microphone only because there might be somebody watching from afar. Probably my mom. Hi, Mom. But we didn't get a chance to light the candles. Another few weeks, we'll get a little bit later, we'll be able to get here on time to actually kindle the lights before the service, or before sundown, rather. So we will pretend that we have done that, but we will turn to page 5 as we join together in Shalom Aleichem, our hymn welcoming in Shabbat, as the ministering angels come to find that shalom that we all seek after a long week. And after hopefully a nice week with Hanukkah, certainly, but I think we could all use a little bit of shalom in our lives. So page 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim,
Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you'll kindly turn to page 10, you'll find Yedid Nefesh, a beautiful hymn that again welcomes in Shabbat. We join together, again, the top of 10. Yedid Nefesh of HaRachaman Mishach Avdach El Ritzonach Yarutz Avdach Kemo Haya Yishtachaveh Mul Hadarach Ki Erav Lo Yedidutach Minofet Suf Vechol Tam Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Adonai Ziv ha'olam Nafshi cholat avatach Ana elna rifana la Beharot la Noam zivach Az titchazek Betitrape Vehaita Shivchat olam Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai 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 dai. Page 11, you'll find the formal beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat as we join together with the beginning of the 95th Psalm. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina l'Adonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina l'Adonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, nekadma fana bitodah. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, bismi ruk naria lo. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina l'Adonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina l'Adonai. Ki el gadol Adonai, u'melech gadol al kol elamim asher yado amech karei haaretz v'tov. Page 12, the conclusion of the psalm. Arba'im shana kut bedor v'omar ham to'el b'hem v'hem lo yadu rachai asher nishbati v'yapi im yevon el menuchati. Page 14, by the arrow, you'll find Yismachu Hashamayim as we celebrate Sodo, the heavens and the earth rejoice. we join together. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, umelo. Yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, umelo. Yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, umelo. Yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, yihiram hayam, umelo. We turn over to page 19 at the bottom. There you'll find the selection in the small print at the top and the bottom of the left side of the page. We read together this blessing, this lovely selection from the Tel Aviv prayer community together. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your coming. Bring with you rest and peace following a tumultuous week filled with so many demands. Bring the space in which, with others and alone, we can shape an infinity of dreams. Bring the hour of forgiveness in which to hear the pounding heart of another human being. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your Creator. Blessed is your light. Page 20, we join together the last three lines by the arrow Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu le'ahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu le'ahar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu le'ahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu le'ahar kodsho. Richard, is my guy out there, or is he back in, or where did he go? You haven't seen he came back in? Okay, he's out. He's in my house. As long as he's not hanging out outside with Stout, or did Stout come? Is somebody here? My guy, my little guy. No, the little guy. The guy in the red. Was he with you, though, before? He came in. Never mind. Come on. Here, I see him. He appeared. No. Is he here, though? No? Didn't come? Okay. That's a little strange. Must be stuck in traffic, too. This guy, that's the little guy I was talking about. The important one. I just didn't know where he disappeared to. Page 21, you'll find Mizmor LeDavid. We rise as we join together. I didn't know where you were. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai kavod va'os, Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai b'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover harazim, Vayishaber Adonai et arze halevanon, Vayarkidehem kemo egel Levanon v'Siryon, Kemoven re'emim. Kol Adonai chotzef lavotesh. Kol Adonai yachil midbar. Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh. Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot. Vayechesof ye'arot. Uvechalo kulo omer kavod. Adonai lama bu yashav. Vayeshav Adonai melech le'olam. Adonai os le'amo yitain. Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. You may be seated. Page 23, you'll find Lecha Dodi as we welcome in the Sabbath bride or queen to our midst. We'll do the first two verses, the middle verse on 24, and the last two verses on 25, and then the door will magically open as Richard opens it for us as we welcome in the Shabbat bride or queen. So page 23. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha. Ki mekor haberacha mehirosh mikedem nisucha. Sof maseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Middle of 24. Hitoreri. Kiva orech kumi ori. Uri, shir daveri. Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Middle of 25. Yaminu semol tifrotzi. V'et Adonai ta'aritzi. Ahol yarish ben partzi. V'nismecha v'nagila. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. We rise. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Last verse. B'hoi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'b'tzahala. Toch emunei am segula. B'wichala. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. You are welcome to be seated. I just walked in, huh? About a minute late. About 10 seconds late. Yes, we do. Thank you. We do have a minyan. Page 27, you will find the Psalm for Shabbat as we join together. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat tov lehodot la'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon lehagid baboker chastecha ve'emunatcha balelot alei asor v'alei navel alei higayon bechinor mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat tov lehodot la'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ki simachtani Adonai b'fa'alecha b'ma'asei yadecha ronen magadlu masecha Adonai ve'od amku machshevotecha mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat tov lehodot la'Adonai ulezamer l'shimcha elyon ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. We conclude the psalm over on page 28 by the arrow Tzadik Hatamar. Tzadik Hatamar yifrach ke'erez balevanon yizkeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva deshenim verananim yiyu lehagid ki ashar Adonai tzuri tzuri velo avlatabo. Those reciting Kaddish Tom, the Mourner's Kaddish, you're welcome to rise and join with me on page 30. And as we have been doing, we are designating this Kaddish as in remembrance of those who lost their lives in the terrorist attack in Israel, and continuing those IDF soldiers as they fight the war with Hamas. So page 30. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah v'yalma divrach chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach leolam elomei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May be seated for just a moment. I'll get them in for a second in just a minute for helping out with the Mariv service. So last week we began reading the saga of Joseph, known in Jewish tradition as Joseph the Dreamer. So we know, if you know the story, how would you describe Joseph? Well, he had a coat of many colors, correct. How would you describe his character? He's complicated. That's a good one. Right. It's true. He is complicated, and it's complicated what his brothers did to him. But initially, he's pretty much a brat. He's obnoxious, right? He's an obnoxious 17-year-old at the beginning of the story for the most part, right? Why? Because you're right, it gets complicated from there. But at the beginning, he's pretty much a bratty, obnoxious 17-year-old. And he shares his dreams with his brother. He has these dreams. He shares his dreams, right? Sun, moon, and stars going to bow down to him. All these dreams that suggest that he is superior to the brothers with him. And that gets him into it gets him into grave trouble. So this Shabbat, that was really last week's story. This Shabbat, in the Torah reading of Miketz, we find Joseph many years later now, sitting in an Egyptian prison. He's no longer sharing his dreams anymore, because if you remember, his brothers threw him into a pit. They were ready to kill him. And no, let's sell him to these Midianites or Ishmaelites, the people who are running by. And that's what they do to get rid of him. And that's how he finds himself eventually in jail. Not for that, but because of working in Potiphar's house, he gets accused of being not nice to Mrs. Potiphar, and let's just put it that way. And he ends up in jail. So through his amazing interpretive powers, though, Joseph is no longer the dreamer, but he's transformed into really Joseph, the interpreter of dreams. He becomes an interpreter of dreams. He has a new job and a new role in his life. That's probably my loud boys in back there. So having had a series of disturbing dreams which his advisors can't interpret, Pharaoh learns of this guy sitting in jail. Hey, I heard about this from the baker and the butler, right? Joseph, this guy's in jail. He might be able to interpret the dreams that you're having, Pharaoh. So if you know the story, you know the result. Joseph tells Pharaoh that the dreams that he's having, the interpretation is that Egypt's going to have 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. And he advises Pharaoh the following. He says, Yereh paro ish navon v'chacham. Let Pharaoh look for a man of discernment and wisdom and set him over the land of Egypt. That's the suggestion that Joseph suggests, going forward, here's what you need to do. So Joseph tells him, in essence, seek a wise person who's capable of managing Egypt during this transition time, during this time of plenty, and then the 7 years of plenty, and then the 7 years of famine. And of course, the person's role would be, and Joseph suggests this, that food should be stored during the years of plenty and distributed then, of course, during famine. So who is this man with profound wisdom that's chosen for the position? Yet none other than Joseph, right? And at first glance, Joseph's advice hardly indicates great wisdom, right? And that doesn't sound like you have to be rocket scientist to be able to suggest, prepare for the famine, here's the best way to do it, right? And then when we have 7 years of not much food, we'll have some storehouses of food available. Any person who learned the famine would be coming could realize that we have to prepare for it, and we have to work towards the years of abundance to prepare for the years of famine. But if you think about it, his advice is kind of like, a hurricane's coming, board up your homes. If you don't know, you got to board up the windows, right? The hurricane's about to come. Okay. So the question becomes, what is Joseph's great wisdom, right? It says here Joseph's going to be, and he's described, he fits the bill of somebody with great wisdom. So what's his great wisdom? Any ideas? Okay. Store the rice. Well, but that's the argument. Is that really such great wisdom that he came up with that? Couldn't we figure that one out on our own? Apparently not. That's a good answer. I like that. Any other thoughts? All right, well, let me share with you just a short thing, a short little commentary from one commentator who suggests that Joseph's wisdom really had nothing to do with his ability to say, hey, save for the future, woohoo, right? Be a financial planner, right? Save for retirement later on. The commentators suggest that Joseph's wisdom came from his ability to actually go against human nature. What do we mean? Well, when we're satisfied with the present, when everything seems to be going smoothly, we rarely concern ourselves with looking forward, right? And considering the possibilities of the future. We tend not to do that. Like, it's all great. Let's not think about too far ahead. We don't really care, right? And when you're in your 20s and 30s, especially, you don't have the number of your financial planner on your Rolodex. I'm dating myself. You certainly don't, right? You're not even thinking about 30, 40, 50 years from now. You're busy having a good time in grad school, right? Right. Okay. You're paying off your bills then too anyway, right? So who has time to save? But countries that, like, for instance, have surplus food, we often squander it, right? We don't think about, oh, well, maybe we should do something with this excess. We don't think about or plan what might be coming. We tend not to do that so easily. It's not an easy trait to have. And certainly, think about it when you build a road in our city, you build roads or highways. We could probably find Barry Knox and talk to him about city planning, right? When you plan, they know they have to plan so far ahead. Can't plan for just 5 years ahead. You have to plan for 20 or 30 years ahead when you're building that highway or that road. You have to look and anticipate the needs that might come in the future. Do your best to do that, certainly, and begin to work on those needs today. And in a commentary on Pirkei Avot, there's a wonderful, you may have heard this, from Ethics of Our Ancestors. Ezehu ha-chacham, who's a chacham, who's wise? One who sees what will be born. That's what the rabbis suggest. One who sees what will be born. B-O-R-N. What will become, what will be born, what is to come. And that's not talking about interpreting dreams. It's not talking about being psychic. It's talking about having the wisdom to not predict the future, but to have an ability to perceive that the future is important and seeing it for the future, seeing now, envisioning now what could be. That's what the wisdom was that Joseph had. His ability to set a course of action that would allow Egypt and ultimately his own family, by the way, who's going to go down into Egypt and get food, right? When they need it, right? To move forward in life. And so the rabbis look at the story and go, Joseph's kind of, it's not about his psychic abilities. It's not about his ability to interpret dreams. It's about he possessed somehow the knowledge and the insight and the wisdom to look at what was and to perceive and to think about and plan for even what could be. And that's where his gift is. So who is wise? Who is the most wise? One who can perceive, one who could think about what is to be born, what is to come. And more importantly, in our day and age, takes the time to think about the future. And it is a skill that we don't all have, and it is certainly one that we work to cultivate in our lives, not at the detriment of our present, but most certainly with the thought of how do we build a better future. So keep that in mind, a little wisdom from Joseph's situation. We tend to think of him again as that obnoxious, bratty 17-year-old who kind of goes through a whole lot, and in the end, his story is quite complicated. But the rabbis